So let's just. I want to stay with this stream now for as long. We will actually put everything together again as we go along. But I'm afraid to say that this has been an appalling, a disappointing, lethargic England display tonight, and we're going to stay for a little while longer because it needs to be said. We are waiting to hear from Roy Hodgson or some of the England. We want reaction. We want to know what the feeling is like in the camp right now, because let's be honest, simply put, there's no way you can defend the England performance tonight. I'm shocked, I am hungry. As a commentator I have to be unbiased, but as an Englishman, and a proud one at that, I am deeply, deeply ashamed to be British here tonight, because that, simply put, was not a good enough England performance. It just wasn't anything in it at all. And who were you? And if people are thinking, where's JB gone? I'm on a new stream, so I'm having to. We lost connection again. Sky will be getting a mouthful from me tomorrow morning, because that's just not good enough. Vardy had a chance right at the end. We will hear from Roy Hodgson or somebody from England at the moment, but this, simply put, is not good enough. I'm just taking a sip of coffee right now, and it's just, I'm unbelievably gutted. I cannot say enough. And this is, I mean, if we look back in the tournament, we dominated 4 games, admittedly, and unfortunately, we just haven't been good enough in the final third. I mean, it says a lot when Roy Hodgson criticises the strike force in training, and really, we can dissect the England performances. They've dominated games, but there's just simply, when it's mattered, it hasn't been good enough, and there's got to be questions asked. Now, the media will be sharpening their knives for the manager. There's certainly going to be people now wanting Roy gone, this commentator included, and I'm really I am sick to the pit of my stomach tonight. It is now 6 minutes past 10 in the UK, and it is one of the worst nights of English football. Simply Cookie's been on. Nice video, bro. Well, it's a nice video, but not if you're an Englishman. There's tears of sadness on England faces, but let's take credit there. We're just waiting for Roy Hodgson to come out and do an interview. It's going to be a while. He showed no. I mean, I don't know about any of you guys listening in, but if you saw the game on TV, what did you think? What did you honestly think? It's TGD Brawls. He says he's gutted. Well, we're all gutted. I'm gutted and angry, and I'm the commentator. You know, it's just, you know, you want to see your England team do well, and I'm afraid to say we haven't done enough. I'm going to gauge the reaction here on Facebook. Some of the Facebook messages we're seeing about England at the moment. One from Barry says, "Dear Santa, taxi for Roy, new gloves for Hart, new boots for Rooney." Well, sort of sums up the mood, doesn't it? Let's see how many more. Carl says, one of my friends on Facebook, he puts it simply as Iceland deserve to win, says it all. Another lad, Matthew, says, joke, in my eyes 3 players deserve to have the 3 lines on the chest. Vardy, Walker and Smalling, everyone else can swivel. My brother has also come on and said, this is the worst English squad I've ever seen. If we do come back to win, there's no way we can beat France. Well, they're out now. There's no doubt about that. One last called Anna says, never get your hopes up for England. Always a constant disappointed. And she, like many others, say, see you later, Roy. P45 coming your way. Another lad, Mick, says, good job. These idiots are on 300 grand a week. well, they don't look like earning, and they get paid for playing for the country, which is a shameful way to act. I think it should be a privilege to play for your country. Jonathan, one of my colleagues who I do the commentary workshop with, he's a fellow commentator himself, he works with BBC. He says, pathetic, absolutely useless. Only England can let you down this much so many times. I've been disappointed watching football before, but this has got to be a new level of disappointment, and I can't agree with him more. Number one, well, P45's on the way. Joe Hart's a poor goalkeeper. One guy says, embarrassment. Farm Foods is miles better than Iceland anyway. I think that's referring to the supermarket chain. Another guy, Ryan, says Hart rubbish, Rooney rubbish, Kane average, Sturridge average, Walker doing okay. That's about it. Another guy, Clarence Turf. Burnley fans will probably know what I'm talking about. It's a Facebook page. He says, hang your heads in shame, you overpaid idiots. A disgrace to your country. Don't bother resigning, Hodgson. You're sacked. That was 19 minutes ago. Clarence Turf, that was. It's a Burnley Facebook page. Sam, another friend, says poor. I'm not going to repeat the first word. It's a swear word. Another last, Leanne says embarrassing. The England squad never failed to infuriate us. Agreed. Anything else? Let's have a look. Another guy, Stephen, he said, I can't stand this. I've never been so stressed in my life. The comments get even better. And that's just some of the Facebook friends that I've... and that's just some of my Facebook friends. Let's have a look at some more comments. TGZ Brothers has been back in touch. Why did they use the worst players? Well, it's Roy Hodgson, isn't it? You've got to say it's the manager. And he's picked his favourites. Simple reason. Jack Wilshere, who's been nowhere near good enough. He's played 70 minutes football competitively for Arsenal all season. You leave out Danny Drinkwater, who's had his best season in his footballing career. You leave him out the side. There's Andros Townsend, who would have provided more width on the wings. He had a great end to the season despite Newcastle getting relegated, his club. He should have been on the plane. There was Mark Noble there, he should have been on as well. So let's see if we can hear from Roy Hodgson. Let's have a look. This is going to be explosive. Here is Roy Hodgson now.
So now is the time for someone else to oversee the progress of this young, hungry and extremely talented group of players. They've been fantastic and they've done everything that's been asked of them. When I arrived, I was told that players didn't turn up to play for their country or that they pull out at the last minute, but I've not seen any of that. These players love to play for their country and their commitment has been unquestionable. Ray and Gary have asked me to speak on their behalf. They arrived with me as part of my coaching team and they'll leave with me. I'd like to thank them for their dedicated support and for the major part they've played in our team preparation. Finally, I'd like to thank all the support staff, players, the FA, and of course the fans. It's been a fantastic journey these 4 years, and it's one I'll look back on, or remember with pride. Finally, I'd like to thank you, the media, for the support that you've given me during the 4 years. I'm sorry it's had to end this way with another exit from the tournament, but these things happen and all I can do is wish everybody all the very best and hope that you will still be able to see an England team in a final of a major tournament fairly soon. We've been unable to deliver. Thank you very much.
And that was that from Roy Hodgson. He's actually officially resigned as England manager. Well, he's jumped before he was pushed. He was going to get sacked in the morning anyway, but that still doesn't take away the criticism. I'm going to end this stream with this comment. 4 years Roy Hodgson has been manager of England. If you take out the qualifiers aside, he has been poor in tournament football. Now, he had 10 games in tournament football as England manager. 10 games. He won just 3. 2 in the European Championships of 2012. And he won against Wales in this European Championships. The rest he drew and lost. 2 years ago, he took charge of England in his one and only World Cup. He lost to Italy, and he lost to a 70% fit Uruguay and Luis Suarez. And people were saying 2 years ago that he should have been sacked or resigned here on in. Right? And this tournament, he could claim beyond all recognition that his team were dominant in all 4 games. But the bottom line is this, folks. The bottom line is this, and I can't stress it enough. England have been not good enough. The debate before the tournament, would it be 4-4-2? That's what it was going to. Instead, he goes back to his old stupid ways and plays a 4-3-3, which Panini quite plainly points out did not work whatsoever. Did not work whatsoever. I don't care if Roy Hodgson's resigned. He's a coward. He shouldn't. And I hope and pray he never manages international football again. You have to go. He has to go. He's jumped before he was pushed. The P45's on its way, thank God. Roy Hodgson, you have been a disgraceful England manager, and if I had to put him in the list of England managers that have done well, he would be in my bottom 4. He'd only be and the 3 below him would be these 3. Graham Taylor, 3rd bottom, Steve McLaren, 2nd bottom, and Don Revie, bottom of the lot. Roy Hodgson had 3 tournaments. He got us to 1 quarter-final, which we were lucky to get to, quite frankly, because we didn't play well enough in the games in Euro 2012. The World Cup, we didn't win a game. We lost 2 and drew 1, and we went out after 2 games. And in this tournament, when it was needed to have a good tournament, we were poor against Russia. We should have won the game by a long shot, and we didn't. We let Russia in, who, let's be fair, are a very, very old side. We let them in for an equaliser. Against Wales, we struggled for 45 minutes. Gareth Bale scored to put England ahead. We come back to win the game, and we're all saluting Roy Hodgson as a genius. And that was the only good decision he made in the tournament. The 3rd game against Slovakia was a disgrace. As we just have a look at the next England manager odds, Gareth Southgate is 8-1 by the bookies. Alan Pardew's at 10s, along with Gary Neville. Brendan Rodgers is quoted at 16-1, but he's just taken over Celtic. Eddie Howe would be a good shout at 16-1. And Arsene Wenger, if you want long odds on him, being next England manager, he's as far out as 28-1 with the bookies. That's the next England manager, and the odds have already been taken. But let's sum up Roy Hodgson's tournament competitiveness. You can win the qualifying groups as much as you want. You can win 10 games out of 10, like they did. But they are too many overplayed, prima donna players. Wayne Rooney's on 300 grand for heaven's sake. And those players will go back to their clubs on July the 1st when they start pre-season training, saying, oh, we're the lads, we're in the Premier League, oh, nothing for us. And they will go on and forget about it as if nothing had happened. We, as England fans, cannot let them forget what happened, because simply a defeat like that to Iceland, take nothing away from Iceland, they deserve to win, is unforgivable. Unforgivable. And I mean, Kerry makes the point there's too many overseas players in the EPL. Maybe there is, but that's still no excuse for England not putting a team out that's good enough to win. Some of these players are just overpriced. You know, all they care about is their money, their flash cars, their flash houses. Some of them have to care, and they even get paid for playing for their country. What's all that about? Well, goodbye, Roy. I never want to see the likes of you in an England job again. We missed a boat 40 years ago when we should have appointed Brian Clough. If we'd appointed Brian Clough, we could have won the World Cup or European Championships, because he would have sorted everything out from the youth system upwards. And Brian Clough would have done that. And Peter Taylor, his assistant at the time. If he'd have done that, then there'd have been no problems whatsoever. As it is, we appoint yes men, and we always get let down. And that's all I can know. That's all I've really got to say. Thank you to everybody who's listened to tonight's events. It's ended in I didn't want to end this video in the saddest of ways. I didn't want to end it having to shout. Kevin makes the point: never forget, never forgive, and never again. And that, I'm afraid, is the way that we're going to finish on the stream tonight on this note. Thank you for sticking with me when the stream has broken down and everything else. And you know, well, the FA, before I go, the FA are going to take some criticism from me. They are too much behind the times. They are too much behind the times, and I'll tell you for why. They are too prim and proper. They don't appoint they appoint too many yes men. There are too many people within the FA who aren't even in football. Craig Dyke was a TV executive for both BBC and ITV for many years. I think we need to appoint somebody who's played the game. If we're going to appoint an FA chairman, appoint a former player. Appoint a David Beckham. Appoint a Steven Gerrard. Appoint somebody, Bobby Charlton, somebody of that magnitude who can be chairman of the FA, who's a football man. I'm sick of these TV executives or ex-TV executives or Royal Mail executives getting these jobs. Let's get a football man in as chairman of the FA. Anyway, thank you very much for listening. We'll see you on Friday for the Thursday night for the quarterfinals. Until then, thank you very much for listening in. And but it's with sadness that we have to say England are out of the Euros, beaten 2-1, and Roy Hodgson, thankfully, has done the decent thing and has resigned. Bob all of us here. Good night.